Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pod from the Bunker. This is my first episode. Last episode was the pilot episode I did with a good friend of mine named Daryl Wallace, and he's a friend, so it was easy to converse with him. Today we have a guest who I don't know very well at all. Another Twitch musician streamer. But before we get to that, I just want to say, if you're watching on YouTube, I do this live on Twitch, so you can watch the stream live and interact with the chat. And if you're watching on Twitch right now, thank you for being here. Please go subscribe on the YouTube. You can watch all the videos after over there. I started this podcast so I could look into the lives of other artists and creatives and streamers and just get into their process and their mindset, and just to learn how to listen a little bit better and learn how to be an interviewer a little, and learn the game. You know, everyone has a podcast, so why wouldn't I? So right now I'm going to introduce Ellie Fier, although I always say Ellie Fier. It's which I believe she enjoys. She just told me she likes that because Ellie Fier is a sweet name to have. However, it's Ellie Fier, and we're going to bring her into the chat right now, and we'll get right to it. So thank you for being here, and let's do it. Ellie, how are you?
What's up, Kev? I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
So thanks for being a guest. You're really our first guest. Last one was a pilot episode, and my friend Daryl did it to help me iron out all the wrinkles and stuff. So thank you for being my second guinea pig.
Oh, you're so welcome. Let's do it. I'm stoked to talk some music with you.
Yeah. My first question I'm going to try to start with most times is, what is music to you? We're getting right into it. What is music to you specifically?
You know what? It's a part of my life that even on like the days that I'm trying to be realistic and it's something that I am drawn to in like the most primal way. Like, I need music in my life. It is the thing that like heals everything. All my trauma, everything I've ever been through has had a musical outlet for me, whether that's an artist that spoke to me in the moment, or whether it's a song that I wrote to portray a feeling or an emotion that I wouldn't otherwise want to share with anybody. And that's it, is music gives me a way to share how I'm feeling without feeling like I'm imposing in people, I guess. I don't know. I've always been somebody that's just, I kind of keep my cards close to the chest until I get to know somebody, and music allows me to be vulnerable and be real and put it all out there. So.
Oh, that's a great answer. Actually, I feel quite a bit the same. I always often say that my songs are kind of like me, singing my journal out loud to everybody, and it's like my most personal, deep secrets, but for some reason I sing them in the most public forum. So
it's weird, isn't it?
I totally relate. Also, you said it's very primal, and like, so how does it hit you in a primal way? What is it that like draws you to it, do you think? What is the feeling that you get from it?
It's just like usually it'll be a melody or a lyric specifically that will either be kind of on repeat in my head, or when I say primal, I mean like I could be doing anything, and when I get that inspiration to write or sing or listen, there's absolutely no avoiding it. And I can listen to a song, if it's the right song in the right moment, I could listen to it on repeat and just kind of be lost in it for a while. And in the same breath, like if I'm at work or if I'm in a place where I can't let that out, it's a little bit frustrating for me. I can't tell you how many voice notes I have on my phone while I'm driving or working or in a bathroom stall somewhere. Like, just, I have to get this out. I have to do it. Otherwise, it's such a weird feeling. I don't know if non-musicians can ever understand that, but it's such a strange feeling.
Yeah, it's an outlet. It's extremely important to have an outlet. I mean, people have outlets. Some people go to a kickboxing class. Some people work out, some people write in their journal, and you and I, we just happen to write our journal in a public forum and sing it out loud. So very interesting. What do you think success is?
That for me has changed a lot over the years. Honestly, I remember being, my late teens, early 20s, and thinking that success in music looked like fame, or it looked like millions of records sold. And that dissuaded me from pursuing music, actually, because I just never was looking for that for myself. I love music. I knew I loved to share it. But for me, I think that the success that I'm starting to realize is very real in my life is the daily connection that I make with people that enjoy my music. That is, it's like success at the highest tier for me, because I'm really genuinely connecting with people, and they're liking my originals, they're liking my covers, they're liking songs that I never thought to share until now. And I get to do it every day. I get to do it as much as I want on Twitch. You know what I mean? I could be on here for 12 hours and there would be people hanging out with me. So that's incredibly meaningful.
So, and like, can you extend your answer of success to like life for you? Like, what is success in life for you as a musician, I think? You know, like what is the final stage, the final goal, the final boss that you have to beat to sort of like say that you did it?
Like, if I'm looking down the road at like things that I aspire to in my life, and like if we're at like the most successful I could be, I guess I would say that that looks like my night owl tendency is going to come out here for a second, but that looks like a morning where I don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn to go to work. It looks like having the space and the time to be alone in my thoughts in the morning, plan out my day. Usually that's songwriting before noon, and then connecting with my friends and my family. And success in music, I think, is something, it changes a lot from one year to the next, because this year I have certain goals that I think that will be good for me for this year, but that might not be the case for me next year or the year after. Down the road, looking at success, I would like to just have the freedom to come and go as I please, to write with whoever wants to write music with me, share that to whoever wants to hear it. And I don't like being in one place for too long. So I really do. Success and having the ability to come and go freely are hand in hand.
Do you work music full time, or I know you play gigs? I follow you on Instagram, and anyone in the chat who's live on Twitch right now, it's Command Ellie, and it will bring up her webpage, which has all of her socials and all of her links to her music. But yeah, is that something that
full time? Yeah, yeah. I'm working my way to that. I'm not quite there yet. I am your favorite cliche. I've been a waitress since my teenage years, and I still do that on the side. And playing gigs and live streaming on Twitch are rapidly becoming my goal for full time. This is what I want to do all the time. I'm hoping that as this year progresses, there's a few things I'm going to get out of the way, and then come fall, I'd like to be on Twitch definitely full time. I want this to be my main gig.
Nice. And then would you mix in live gigs like you're doing? I know you you live out west in sort of wine country, and you play at some wineries and stuff. And like, how would you compare the two, playing live on Twitch and playing live at a gig?
I think that I would continue to play gigs for sure. I also have a guitarist who is incredibly talented, and so that's a little bit of a different thing. Twitch is giving me the confidence to play guitar on my own and not rely on other people. That is something I've never been able to do because I only just started playing guitar 6 years ago, and I didn't have the confidence really to like play 1 hour, let alone 2 or 3. So I really relied on him for that. And I do still enjoy the shows, of course. Now that I feel like the ball is rolling on Twitch, I would be lying if I said I'd rather play live shows at the moment. I much prefer being on Twitch.
Yeah, there's the ups and downs to both sides, I would say. I talk about it a lot on my stream. I do love both. I think
it's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, it surprised me too, because you know when you first started, like I first started a week after the pandemic started, so It was very surprising to me. I had no idea what I was getting into, and it is very fulfilling. And you do connect with people on a different level. It's different having a digital connection than having a vibe room connection sort of thing.
Yeah. Big
So
time.
I value both of them very much. I did miss the live setting for the last little while. I did get a good taste of it in the last couple of weeks since we've been open back up, and I've seen you've been getting it as well. How's it feeling being back out there?
It's great. People are so welcoming. Like, I didn't want to take away from loving live shows because, of course, I do still love to play out and about. But there's a certain difficulty that comes with live shows, not only right from like booking them and making sure you're getting paid fairly and making sure that everybody in your band is getting compensated properly, like all these little things. And then on the off chance, you don't get people there that day, or the winery's slow, like that happens too. And I'm kind of forgetting where I was going
Yeah,
with this,
but it's just up and down. You can get good streams,
is.
you can get bad streams, you can get good gigs, you can get bad gigs, and it's fairly unpredictable. I know I started a stream some day out of Monday at 3 p.m. and it's just like banging. There's all these raids and there's all these people, and the same goes for the live gigs. So it's like you're gonna get the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I like to find the balance between both of them.
Yeah.
Now, my next question for you is like, when did you get the bug, the music bug, not the other bug?
I I've always had it. There's never been a day.
So when
Genuinely.
did you just like start singing? Like, when was the first time you had got an instrument or strummed a guitar, or what was what's your journey? How did it start out?
So my mom sang in the church choir for as early as I can remember, and I went to private schools and stuff as a small kid. And I remember the very first time I sang in front of anyone. I was 6 years old. I sang Silent Night in my Christmas pageant at my school, and from there, one of my teachers took an interest and started helping me compete in singing. Like, I'm talking 6, 7, 8 years old.
Nice.
Singing against like other people the same age as me from Christian schools, private schools all over Vancouver Island. And that was where I was like, oh, I'm born to do this. Like, the stage doesn't scare me. None of that scares me. I was playing violin at 6. I don't play anymore, unfortunately, but that was my first taste of playing an instrument. And then I had some piano lessons when I was a little bit older. I played in school bands. It wasn't until like into middle school, into my teenage years that I kind of started to doubt it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from a small town. I just didn't see it as a realistic, as much as I was passionate about it, and it was a dream in the back of my mind. I tried to be realistic, and I went to school for television broadcasting instead. And the whole time I was off the path of music. Looking back at it now, I can see that I was making choices subconsciously that were setting me up to get back into music, even when I didn't realize I was doing that, pursuing other things, hobbies, traveling, relationships. I actually found my first guitar in a dumpster, like days after being like, no, I can't be doing what I'm doing. I want to pursue music. I want to get back into this. I moved out of the house I was living in. I broke up with the guy I was with, and I found a guitar in a dumpster like the next day. And I'm telling you, if there's no sign out there, that was the sign for me. Like, this is right.
That's a really good what's your journey story right there.
Yeah.
I think also I just want to say to anyone else out there listening that one cool thing about the violin is it does sit on like your chin and your jaw, and a lot of the vibrations of the strings are going through your jaw directly to your ear, and it trained your ear rather well. So you start to learn a little bit better. So having that kind of experience early on, along with the singing already, it really helps to train your ear. Oftentimes when I'm in a loud bar and I'm trying to tune my guitar, I literally can put my chin on like the body of the guitar and just kind of hear it better and tune it better. You know what I'm saying?
That's really interesting. I've never actually thought about how playing violin young might have helped, because I do think I have pretty decent pitch, but I wonder,
But even just ears, like learning cover songs and moving with the melodies and stuff like that, having a good ear like that, I think it has to happen early. I don't know. We don't know how this happens. I don't know about the word talent. I don't know if that's a thing or not. I don't know if people are inherently born with this. I don't think I was. I think there's a lot of learning. Even that 5-year-old piano virtuoso spent more hours before he was 5 years old playing piano than he ever wanted to. So I think it's a learned thing, but it's something that maybe you have to be drawn to. But are you going to play some songs for us today?
I mean, I'd like to play you something that I wrote if you're cool with that.
I'm really excited. Well, this is our first performance on the podcast because last podcast Daryl didn't perform, so I'm really stoked about this. But can you tell us a little bit about the song before I put you into full camera mode here? What's this one about?
Let's do it, Kev. So this song that I'm going to play for you first, it is a song that I really enjoy playing. It's called Friend Zone. It is a song that I think you can relate to, whether you have been put in the friend zone or whether you've put somebody in the friend zone. This is kind of my go-to song. It's one that I had a lot of fun writing it, and I used this song to get into a singing competition that I was in last year, and that went pretty well for me. So I feel like it's a good place to start.
Excellent. So I'm going to hit the old performance thing here. It's a little stinger. So it's going to take a few seconds. So if you just want to take a deep breath, throw your effects on, and we'll get you sorted out here. All right, here's Ellie performing Friend Zone. Everybody enjoy.
I think we both know where this is gonna end. I know what I wanna hear, and it sounds a little like, hey, you tell me what you're doing today. Come on over, honey, let's hang out. Test these waters out like I've dreamed about. But it isn't gonna go that way. I think we both know where this is gonna end. You keep me in the friend zone, but you don't act like my friend. So, did you get out of the house, playing music really loud? Did you drive for miles? It's always so damn good till you draw the line. And I know I've said it a million times that I can't be your Friday night if you can't even stay the whole damn night. I think we both know where this is gonna end. You keep me in the friend zone, but you don't act like my friend. I think we both know where this is gonna end. You keep me in the friend zone, but you don't act like my friend. Is it my fault? You hear yes when I say no, and I'm in withdrawal. Cause what kills me feels like home, and you're a real smooth talker, looking like you're gonna kiss me, and I won't mind. Don't blame the whiskey. I think we both know where this is gonna end. You keep me in the friend zone, but you don't act like my friend. I think we both know where this is gonna end. You keep me in the friend zone, but you don't act like my friend. Oh no. And I can't just be a friend.
Wonderful. Well done. Friend Zone. Very, very, Very relatable, like you said, for everyone. Well done. Bravo.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks for doing the first performance ever on here. So I'm working out how to do all of this stuff. So I don't know if I need to set some different settings on the video or whatever, but we're gonna see how it goes, and we'll. It sounded great here for me, so we'll just have to see how it goes on the stream and on the YouTube and whatnot. But great song, great performance. You killed it.
Much appreciated.
What sparks your creativity? How did you get to that song? You were putting someone in the friend zone, or you got put there? Come on.
I was actually putting someone there, but when it came down to writing the song, I think I related more to the side of being put there, and actually I pulled from a few different instances for that song. I really did. It wasn't just one situation wrote this song. It was like, no, I know what I want to say in this song, and I was pulling my own experiences, both things that I've had to say and do, and things that have been said to me, So, and that actually happens with a lot of my music. It comes from usually a place of like heartbreak or sadness. I don't get as inspired when I'm like happy and content, but I'm very inspired by the bad days. And you never really know what a song is going to end up being. I think sometimes it starts off completely one thing and it goes in a completely different direction. Sometimes it takes on a life of its own. And I love that too.
Well, it's great that you took it from the other side of the story. You actually went to the mindset of the person that you were affecting in that way, which is, as a human being, it's a great way to explore yourself, explore how you make others feel, because
Totally.
you put yourself in that person's shoes, which is great. So so what's the process? This is different for everyone, and usually it's sort of similar, but like, what is the process when you get an idea and you want to put the pen to paper or the melody to phone recording?
It always starts with a line. It always starts with sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I don't know. In that song, I had that line in my head. You keep me in the friend zone, but you don't act like my friend, with like a hard stop. I had that in my head for weeks. And I built off of that. Sometimes what I'll do, if I don't really know where to go with it, I know, some ideas of what I maybe want to say. When it gets into building the full song, of course, it's much, much easier to have one line in your head that you think is going to sound great. But when it comes to building the song out, I like to write out the thoughts that I want to say almost in poem format. And then from there, I'll read it out loud dramatically. This is quite funny to watch. I'm sure if you were a fly on the wall, you'd be laughing at me. But I like to just read it out and see where the intonation is in the words, where the real emotion is. How would you normally say these things? And then from there, I'll put the melody on top of that. So like, if you don't mind me going on a bit, but the verse of that song, it kind of goes, I know what I want to hear in it. That whole entire verse is like, the melody was pulled from how I would say all of the things that I was saying in there. And I feel like it's a bit of a foolproof way to come up with good melodies because it makes them relatable.
Yeah, it's very conversational, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking with somebody about it to their inner brain or something, and their inner brain gets to interact with it and think about what you're saying and have their own expression of what you're saying. So that's the beautiful thing about music. And back to the primal thing is that it can hit everybody differently, and it can give you goosebumps, and it can make the hair on your neck stand up. And it can literally, like, for me, I'm such a sensitive guy. I hate to say this, like, because I'm trying to be tough with this beard growing in and stuff, but I'm such a sensitive guy that, like, I literally can't listen to many, many good love or heartbreak songs if I'm not in love, if I'm not doing great. It's hard. I'll just go, like,
you just relate to all of it too much, and it's like, nope. Give me the angsty.
I need something else because I can't cry. Do we have anything funny? Okay, let's do this. Party Rockin' or whatever that song is.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely some good distraction songs out there for those days.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of too many people. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of. I don't have a ton of like theater friends. Like a lot of my music friends came from like garage bands, if you will. So like, I'm not sure if the talking it out sort of theatrically is a common practice, but it seems like a very interesting one that I'd like to like try one time.
Fair, yeah. I mean, it works for my style.
It's like almost like voice acting it out first. Is that what you're doing? Like is it like you're characterizing it, or how? I just want to. Can you do it for me?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna pull up some lyrics. So, like, it's not about character. It's more just trying to find,
Syncopation, flow.
yeah, and genuinely like saying. So, like, okay, in that song, where is it my fault? You hear yes when I say no. I was like saying that to myself, like, is it my fault? Is it my fault?
So,
Is it
'cause-
my fault? You know what? That's like the perfect example. It's like,
Okay, so
that's how I would say it.
the expression or like the upward emotion is on my, like my.
Yeah.
So like when you're texting, we always say it's hard to like express yourself via text because you don't get that like sort of expression on the word my.
Exactly. And when you've been looking at your own lyrics for hours on end, sometimes you forget how to make things come across the way you originally meant them, right? You get a little bit lost in how you're writing the song. I am the worst for that. I sing something 85,000 times, and then I completely forget why I started with that melody in the first place, which might be really good, but then I come back to it the next day and I'm like, oh, I changed that way too much. Or just go back to the basics, strip it down. How would you say this? I think a lot of really recognizable songs actually do this more than you would think.
Oh, yeah.
If you listen to like the hooks of certain songs, part of the reason I think that some of those hooks are so powerful is because they're said in a way that you can almost visualize saying to yourself, almost thinking it the exact same way. And people talk the same, kind of, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's very cool how you do that. Like I understood it as soon as you explained that one line. Is this my fault? And then you inflect that word with the melody. And then the next phrase, you see how you would say it and you inflect the melody onto that word. Okay, this is so cool. Very interesting. I literally have never heard that before.
Well, it's not every song that it does that for, but it is my fallback for when I'm like, okay, I want to move forward, or I'm maybe not sure. If the melody doesn't come to me naturally, that is what I will do first to try to find a new melody.
Very
Or
cool.
at least to find which words, exactly like you just said, at least to find which words should I make this inflection on? Where will that be the most powerful?
Right. Okay, so when we write these songs, of course, we don't expect anymore to make any money off of them. But how do you balance art and income? So when you're writing a song, of course you would like it to be placed in a Netflix show one day and get a check for $50,000 in the mail. But of course you also don't want to just sell out your artistry and start writing the next Elsa song for Let It Go. You can't do that either because you're just not being true to yourself. So how do you find the balance between possibly making a song that can pay for itself or make some income, get streamed, get on a list, and just being true to yourself and talking to yourself like you are?
I wish that I had a good answer for this. The truth of it is I haven't found that balance in how to create and generate income through art. I haven't found it yet. That's why I'm still waitressing. But I have spent months in the past couple of years being broker than I've ever been because I've really felt the music that month. I've really just been all in on writing or all in on, whatever it is I'm doing. Like this past year, I've met a lot of really cool people and I've got to write songs with a lot of talent from all over Canada. And that has taken a front seat to making money. And that's okay for me sometimes, but it's not sustainable. And I think that Twitch, it's crazy to say, but I think that Twitch is the first time in my entire life I can see a sustainable way to keep being an artist and making money at it in a way that is, I feel, very in control of. It makes me a little emotional to talk about because I have never found an outlet like this where I feel like I'm making friends. I don't feel like it's fans. I feel like it's community. Like these people could be my neighbors, and I miss them on the days that I don't stream. And the fact that there is money to be made is this insanely cool added bonus, because I'd probably do it without that, the same way that I've been writing songs without making money from them. And
of course, yeah.
You know, so I wish I had I wish I could be like, oh yeah, you know, I just submit to these 5 playlists and I get my return and da da da. No, I don't know. I'm still learning the ins and outs. I'm fairly new in the music industry too, so it's a learning process every single step of the way.
Awesome, that's a great answer. I asked that question because I ask a lot of these questions because there's no right answer. It's a very open-ended, and finding a balance between having an income from music and being an artist is probably one of the most difficult things. Listen, there are a ton of bands. I say listen to everyone in the chat, not to you. There are a ton of bands out there who literally make an album for a record label so that at some point in their life they can just do what they want to do. And like, I can understand it. I can accept it. It's okay. Like, people are going to do that. You're going to see country guys do the bro country thing, and then they're going to go, cool, made my money. I'm out of this contract. I have enough people who know me. I'm going to do something that I would like to do now. Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to try to pull that off. If, you know, let's say someone was coming through your town and was playing at a theater, a soft seat theater. I don't know what soft seat theater is in your area, but who would you want to open for? Who's your dream opener, or your dream like sort of to open for and go on tour with?
Okay, so I mean, there's just this part of, I mean, if you've heard my music, like if you've seen any of my, I'd love to open for Taylor Swift. Of course I would. But there are a few artists that stand out to me too. Pink is someone that's inspired me since I was really young. Love to open for Pink, or maybe like Sheryl Crow or Alanis, because those are both artists that raised me. Yeah.
Awesome. That would be so amazing.
Just out of curiosity, who is your like dream to open for?
That's not how this works.
Can I just ask?
I'm kidding. So? Yeah, of course you can. I was just being a fool. Mine would have to be probably Stapleton.
Oh yeah,
probably Chris Stapleton. That's how it would be. That would be my dream because, like, you know, I kind of sound ish like him. I just love him as a writer. He's one of my most favorite artists ever in the world. The only other one that was in debate there was Jason Isbell. It was kind of like, which one of these? But they're kind of my favorite. Yeah, so you got me with a question.
So you take either or. Like if Jason called you up, you'd be like, okay, like I got this thing for Chris first, but I'm there otherwise.
So that's a great question I should ask. So what if Alanis and, you know, Amanda Marshall or whoever else calls you, like, which one are you doing? Are you like, who are you
kidding me? If both those women call me up,
it's like, I got to do both.
Got to do it. Like all 3 of us. Come to my house, Alanis. We'll sort out all the details.
Yeah.
Write a bop in the meantime. And yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm not turning either of them down.
Right on. Cool. So do you want to play us another one? You want to tell us about your next song and we'll get you to play one more live tune for us? It would be super cool.
I love that. Yeah. Sure. So this next one is another one that is pretty popular on my stream. Shout out to the Ellie verse. I know a few of them are in the chat. This is a song called Night Still Comes, and it was written a little over a year ago, and it's very jam-packed with emotion, but it's a little bit I put this song together in the summer of last year with a good friend of mine. I brought him the lyrics, and he had a guitar, and he kind of just started playing something, and the whole song was pretty much done in like 15 minutes.
Oh, those are the best. They just come out of you.
Yeah, and it was like when I hear it being produced, this is one of my goals right now, is to get a couple of these songs produced. When I hear it in my head, it's very like rock pop. It's not just you're going to hear acoustic, but I hear it with like drums and electric and bass and all the good stuff.
Like Pink rocks out. We could get it.
Hell yeah. She does.
Right on. Okay, I'm going to swing it over to you full screen and you can do your thing and take it away for us, all right?
Cool.
There's a small metal trash can sitting in the back. Memory-stained pieces of us turn to ash. Now the hardest part is over, accepting what I've lost. But burning off the remnants won't reduce the cost. The night still comes and the darkness lands. It's silent permission to feel again. These shadows in the sheets, they vanish in the sun. But the night still comes, the night still comes, the night still comes. Tossing and turning till the break of dawn. Memory. Speculating on vivid dreams till they're gone. And I still can't drive down Jasper Ave because of you. I'll never take you back, but I can shake off all of you when the night still comes and the darkness lands. It's silent permission to feel again. These shadows in the sheets, they vanish in the sun. But the night still comes, the night still comes, the night still comes. Oh, oh, when the night comes, will you hold me in my dreams? Be the reason I don't sleep when the night comes. I relive it all again, the good, the bad, the end. When the night comes, when the night comes, when the night comes. The night still comes and the darkness lands. A silent permission to feel again. These shadows in the sheets, they vanish in the sun. But the night still comes, the night still comes, and the darkness lands. A silent permission to feel again. These shadows in the sheets can't work their magic in the sun. But the night still comes, the night still comes, the night still comes. In a trash can full of ash, I burned off my best distraction. Oh, now I'm lying in the grass and my stomach hurts from laughing. Oh, oh.
Woo.
Well done, madam. Well done.
Thank you.
So what I wanted to ask you is, just before you went into that song you were talking about, I can hear this song produced with this and that. So how do your songs come to life? I know you have one that just came out. We're going to talk about that and promote that in a little bit, but how do you bring them to life? How do you explain to somebody, this is what I want it to sound like, or without saying I want it to sound like Alanis Morissette's awesome album?
Oh gosh, it's so hard to do. This was like my entire struggle the year 2020, because me and my guitarist had this song that we were trying to release and trying to put together, and he was learning how to produce. So I said, like, yeah, like learn how to produce, use this song to hone in your skills. And so there were many, many days where we were on the phone or we were in person or whatever, and I was trying to convey what was in my head. I have so much love, by the way, for Cody for pulling it out of my head because it took a year.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing to try to explain to somebody what you are hearing without knowing what things are called, like what certain drum beats are called. Like I now know what a cajon is and I now know what all these things are. But at the time, I just had no idea. I didn't play drums. So that is a huge, huge struggle. I'd say the best thing that we found to do would be finding songs that were similar and being like, okay, I like this about it, or I like this about it. And then from there, he was able to be like, okay, well, these are what I came up with. What do you like? What do you not like? And then it was a matter of taking whatever track he had and being like, yes to this, no to this, yes to this, no to this, over and over and over and over again. And I'm sure there's a better way. I'm sure there is. I'm going to be
That's great. I just got to be defeating, like you said. God bless Cody for going through it, and you're like, no, just not there yet, not there yet. I try to attribute it to some people as visual art, and like, let's say I have this picture of a landscape and a cottage on the side of the lake in the fall in northern Ontario. Now, if I say that to you, you picture a cottage on a lake in northern Ontario in the fall. But it's definitely not what mine is in my head, right? Then no matter how much I can describe it to you, it's very difficult. So if I give you a paintbrush and I'm like, hey, help me produce this painting. Okay, there's going to be a cottage. And then they start painting a cottage way up in the left corner. And you're like, whoa, that is not where that goes. It's not wrong. It's just what they had in their mind. And it's very difficult to bring someone into your painting and then still make it what you envisioned in your head. So I'm always interested in, like the last guy who was on the podcast produces my music. And so we go through this same weird process where I'm trying to explain to him. He knows me well. He's known me for 20 years. It's been a long time coming, but he's pretty good at what I ask him to do now. And we do use reference songs. But let's say you got to go into a big old studio and you weren't working with Cody, or you and Cody got to go to a studio. What would that look like for you?
Well, first of all, let me just say that was a really, really good analogy because that's exactly how it feels. Is like you can describe what you're trying to do, but that doesn't necessarily explain the way that you see it in your head, right? So that was a really good analogy. Going into the studio to put these next few songs together, it's just always going to start with a beat. Once we have the beat down, I'll play guitar, whether that's the guitar that stays in the song or not. We're going to make our scratch track out of it, lay the beat down, whatever we hear, lay the guitar over that, sing the vocal over that. Now we've got our scratch track. And from there, I can bring Cody in and be like, okay, this is what I did for guitar. And I trust him now too. So that it's kind of the beauty of having done that first song together is that we really get each other. As I'm sure you and your producer probably have too, is like you've worked together. You get to a point where you've worked together enough that they kind of can start reading your mind a little bit.
Absolutely.
And so once the scratch track is made, it's like all just fun and games. I think it's about finding people that you trust and people that have a sound that you like or a sound that you're going for. And you do have to put trust into your producer the same way that you have to put trust into a tattoo artist. I don't know how to tattoo, but I'm going to trust somebody to draw amazing art on me, and it's going to be there forever. And that's what it's going to be when it's done. So you do have to kind of work with somebody that you
have faith in. Yeah.
That's
a difficult thing. So the other thing is you have to bring more than one person in with a paintbrush. So now you have like guy mixing and mastering and the guy producing and the guy who's going to play the drums and the guy who's going to play the lead guitar or whatever. There's multiple people coming in with all these paintbrushes, and we're trying to paint your cottage on the side of the lake. It's not anybody else's, but they're all trying to do it, and their brushes are flying everywhere, and you're like, wait, I've had this so many times. So it's just like, I know you've worked on, we're going to talk a little bit about Bitter, and we were just talking about the process of this. So how is it when you finally got there? What's that? How do you know when you have it? That's the question.
Well, I have right now 2 versions of Bitter. I have the one that I released and put out, and I have the one that was the very final copy that Cody and I did together before we took it to a producer and asked him to put those finishing touches on it. And when I listened to the final version that Cody and I did, even now when I listen to it, I still can't put my finger on the thing that made me know it wasn't quite there yet. There was always just a noise to it that sounds horrible to say, but like there was always just like something that didn't sound like I was listening to it on the radio. I was looking for the copy that sounded like I was hearing the radio version, and I was really, really fortunate because when I went to the other guy and I said, this is what we've got so far, we want to stay really true to what we've done here, but I just need you to like, turn the dials a little bit, really crispen up that sound. And he did exactly that. And his first version that he sent back to me was like, done, released. It was just...
You just knew.
I just knew, yeah. And it wasn't about being picky about stupid things. Like we had one version that had kind of an extra guitar lick and one version that didn't. And I liked both. I would have been okay with both. But it was just something about the clarity of the song. I could hear it in all the places that I was imagining it, on the radio in my car and whatever. And of course I listened to it on every pair of speakers I could find for like a month. And yeah, I just knew I was happy with it. And I'm glad that I went to that extent now, because listening back, I'm glad that we released the one we released.
So you kind of laid down a process for the next ones coming. And which ones are you working on now? The two that you played for me, are they in the pipeline?
Hell yeah, they are. I want them out there so that I can move on to the next. It's those two, and it's another song that's a little bit more country called Hometown of Mine that I wrote last summer with my friend Matthew James. Very
cool. So if you're in the Twitch chat currently with us live, you can use command Ellie and it will bring up her website, which I think you'll be able to get to all her music from there. You did want to mention, you mentioned to me before we started that you're some sort of singing competition. Please go ahead and elaborate. Go ahead and talk about this if you'd like. And anything you want to promote, go ahead. Let's do it.
Cool. I'll tell you a little bit about The Shot. So last year I ended up...
The Shot. Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah, now I've heard about The Shot. Yeah, one of my friends in town, Johnny Starks, is in it as well, actually.
Johnny! I know Johnny!
Yeah, I know Johnny quite well as well. So hopefully we'll get him on here one day. We'll see.
He is a rad dude. He's got a song coming out too, by the way. Yeah. Anyways, I met Johnny in The Shot last year and he did so well, but that was I was kind of in the middle of quarantine and I was in this mindset of I'm just going to say yes to absolutely any opportunity that I come across, and The Shot landed in my lap. I had an audition in February of last year. I got in, and that started a 5-month chunk of my year last year where that was all I thought about. It was all I worked on. And it was, I got myself really, I kind of got in my own head about it, I think that's fair when you're on like a competition of that level, but I overthought it a lot of the way. I was really outside of my comfort zone and I was just like pushing through. I wanted to do the best I could, and they invited me back this season. So I'm really excited to have a little bit of fresh, you know what I'm trying to say, to go into it knowing what to expect.
Right.
And
good, a new perspective.
Yes, exactly.
That's excellent.
It's going to be good.
So anyone who doesn't know, The Shot is an online, it's online, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an online Canadian singing competition. Is there songwriting involved as well? I'm not too familiar.
Big time.
Okay, cool.
It's all songwriting.
Did you work with the same producer that did Johnny's songs? Are you working with him too?
No, I'm not too sure who produced Johnny's.
It's Devin Lowhead, I think. Lowhead.
Oh, I'm not. I know I'm not working with the same ones, but
I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Some of the same artist, same judges and same producers and stuff. So
that's cool. So I'm sure you'll see many opportunities arise from that. It's very, very cool. And what's your goal this year in the competition?
My goal genuinely is different from last year. Last year, I was like, I want to win. I want to go as far as I can. And of course, I do still want that. But I want to meet all of these new artists. I want to write some absolute bangers in the show. And I really just want to enjoy the process so much more than I let myself do last year because I was so in my head about it. I just want to have fun. And the biggest takeaway last year was A, meeting my manager, CJ Allen, and B, getting to write songs with all of the people that I had worked with in the show. Outside of the show, we all continued to write songs together. So this year, I'm really just excited for that part of it. I know that the people that make it through to this stage that they're in now, they have to be talented. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gotten this far. So I can't wait to write songs with them and just hear everybody's styles and see what we come up with, because it's
so honestly, your goal is to just become a better musician, get some community going, and learn and work with others. That's great. That's amazing. I'm a bitter old man. I'm far older than you probably think I am. I'm probably not allowed to say this on the podcast, and I might bleep it out for YouTube, but I got an email from The Voice in the States a couple of years ago.
Cool.
Well before the pandemic, and it jaded me a lot because there are kids who line up in the line. Like, they were willing to give me a walk-on spot. Now, I'm not bragging about myself. What I'm talking about is, like, I got jaded about it because I was like, there's so many kids who are working their ass off and, like, showing up and waiting in hours in line to get on this show. And they just emailed me and were like, hey, because I don't know why. Anyways, it doesn't matter why. It's just like, it jaded me on that. So, like, you have given me a refreshing look on this right now. Just that thing right there. Like, I have a positive outlook on this because you're going at it this different way, and it's not about this. You're taking it in a different way, like an artist. So I thank you for restoring some of my faith in that, because I lost a lot of it.
You know what though? I think I think that your reasoning for being a little bit jaded by it isn't unfounded, because I think that a lot of the talent shows that are out there right now, I don't think that they are about what the shot is about. And I'm trying to tread lightly here because I don't want to put them down. I know a lot of people that have had success doing it that way. I never ever would have gotten into doing something like this because I don't like talking about my sob story. I don't want to like get into that. I want it to be about the music, really. And that's why I liked the idea of the shot. We're writing our own songs, we're meeting these artists, and we're getting judged on the song we wrote that day. And it was just such a different concept to show up, stand in line for hours and hours and hours and hours. And that's the other part of it that is so different with the shot is this, because of COVID, it was virtual. And I was able to go through this process from the comfort of my own home.
Yeah.
So as an extroverted introvert, that was pretty
that helps.
Special.
Absolutely. Well, that's very cool. I wish you the best of luck. That is so cool. And I do like the format where you're actually creating a song. You're not going on there and just singing another Katy Perry song as best you can. I mean, that's cool. It's not a karaoke show.
Yeah.
It's an artist show. You can be an artist. You can, and with that, I hope that you, and this is just for jaded old man Kev over here. I hope that you go ahead and you write stuff that's a little edgy and take some chances and don't settle for something that sounds like everything else. Okay. The first time I heard Dua Lipa, I was like, this is going to win new artist, because it was innovative. It was something that was a little edgy. It was still pop music. It was still very listenable. Man, it was amazing. It blew me away. So I just strive for something like that and be inspired to make something that's all you. If
take chances.
You take some chances. Yeah. I think it will work in your favor. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Too many.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, what do I know? I don't know anything. But if I were you, I would take some real chances, because it will separate you possibly from other people who are kind of just, towing the line and trying to make this pop hit. And this is, again, back to the question of finding the balance between making money and being an artist. Don't go so artsy where you're like, well, I guess this will never be played on the radio, but just take a few chances. For me, would you do that for me?
Absolutely. You bet I will. I hope you're along for the journey.
I will. I will subscribe and I will tune in. So keep us informed on the shot. Okay. When does it start and when does it air and stuff?
It airs in June. It starts filming for me this coming Sunday.
Awesome. All right. Well, get pumped. Get ready. Elle, I can't thank you enough for being my second guinea pig. Thank you very, very much. It's
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So I'll let you do your thing. I'm going to take the show out with the people in chat here and just close it off. But you're an absolute pleasure, and I wish you all the best, and we'll stay in touch, okay? And thank you for doing this with me.
Sounds awesome. Thanks again for having me, and I will talk to you very soon. I'll definitely let you know how things are going down the road.
It's EllieFier.com, everybody, and her name is right beneath her face, EllieFier.com, and we will see you all we'll see you later, Elle. All right? Take care.
Bye.
Okay. What's up, guys? How we do? Thank you very much for hanging out. There it is. There's another one in the bank, I guess. Let's put some beats on here, shall we? Got a couple beats in the background. So that's cool. I didn't know she was on the shot. She said to me before the show, I would love to talk about a singing competition. And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do that. We'll throw that in at the end. And then I found out she's on the shot. Very, very cool. If you guys are not familiar, I'm sure that Elle will have information on her webpage about the shot. Thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate everyone hanging out and chat on Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, this episode will be on my YouTube channel. Command YouTube, it will bring it up there. Please go subscribe. Go give a like to the video. If you're watching on YouTube, this was recorded live on my Twitch channel. My Twitch name is Kev from the Bunker. Please head over there and give me a follow. And you can watch this Monday nights at 9 p.m. and or 11 p.m. Next week, we have 2 interviews. We have a digital artist and a potter/sculptor. So at 9 p.m. we will have a digital artist. At 11 p.m. we will have a potter/sculptor. So come and join us next Monday. Thank you very much for being here. Everybody in the chat, I'm going to throw it over to the end screen here where we're going to go raid somebody on Twitch. Come and join us if you're on YouTube on Twitch. It's lots of fun. Everyone's chatting over here. And we are going to get some interaction going on the actual live streams in the future. So we need to do some channel point redemptions and stuff. But guys, you're the best. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you guys next week for another one. Cheers, guys.